So on these incubators, you don't hatch it and incubate the same. This is your hatcher and
Hatcher and 2 incubators, yeah.
so most of your eggs, do you let the mother sit on them for a couple weeks and then move them in?
Yeah, 10 days, sometimes 2 days.
Because you keep track of everything.
That's right.
Do you have any copies of records here?
No.
There's some old pictures of
Yeah, that's the greenhouses. That's the way laid out. But this is where I raise all my pheasants in here. I used to just have a big hole right here, and then every time I open up, they jump out everywhere, man.
Yep.
So I had to make this to get them out.
What's the handle for? Drag it around?
Yeah, I put some wheels on it.
Oh yeah, wheels.
Drag it around, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
But I got it where, you know, the hooked automatic water right here. It's all in here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a run 500. I've run like 700 and some birds through here at one time.
Wow.
There's all automatic water everywhere.
So you redid it. You just use that braided hose in place of the hose that they usually
Well,
supply.
yeah, that's some new stuff here. I had to get a pressure reducer and all that. Fan. It gets pretty hot in here.
So do you? So all the lights are situated in the back there. So you got one light for 2.
Yeah, I just plug in, right. Yeah, exactly. Man, some of them lights are old, like they last forever. The other ones don't last.
Yeah. So we switched a couple of years ago to a halogen.
Yeah.
Light. It's just a little. You kind of clip it in like a. It's like a little. Looks like a little tiny fluorescent light. It's like that long. And there's 2 settings on them, 175 and 250.
Mm-hmm.
They put off a lot more heat than these things, and then the nice thing too is like if you're raising ducks, if you splash it, it doesn't break the bulb.
Yeah.
No.
Well, these are splatter proof, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is with the splatter proof on these, I don't know if you're aware, but they don't give off as much heat as the non-splatter.
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But see, here's I'm growing my duckweed. Pretty thick in there. I've been taking some out just to get rid of some of it. Put a little fertilizer in there, like, well, I used to use Peter's fertilizer, but you can use any kind of water soluble.
Yeah.
And it grows like crazy.
So how many ducks do you put in each one of these things?
It depends on how many. You know, usually about 5 or 6. I've had 10 in there before.
So this is how you start your wood ducks and everything? Wood ducks?
Everything. Everything goes in here and stays in here. You know, until I take and put them in the wet brooders.
So will you keep them in here for like a week or 2? 2
Yeah.
weeks?
Yeah, it depends on the weather
Yeah.
and, you know, what time of year and this and that. Yeah. Then I've got a little heater in here. And it stays on because I want my water. I don't want it to freeze
Right.
in the winter time.
They're used to keep it running.
Yeah, plus when the nenays hatch out, you know, then I have to put them in here.
So what are you feeding the ducklings in here? It's
It's just a starter grower, chick medicated.
oh, so you're using stuff with amperyllium in there. All these guys be telling you can't use amperyllium on it because it's toxic. And
They love that stuff. I had to get an extra bag for when the nenays hatch out.
so that's you're feeding everything the same thing.
Everything in here, that's right.
So you supplement with
Right, I just put that in the little waters, see. I just fill that
Yep.
whole thing up with that, you know.
So this is what 40% protein.
I don't know.
I know it's really high.
It's pretty high, yeah.
So you don't. The question is, do you think you have any angel wing related to the high protein like that?
I don't really know. But I noticed that certain ducks, when they hatch out with geese, and I got them there together, The geese all the time pulling on them and stuff.
Yeah, pulling the feathers.
And
I think
I wonder
that
if they do some of that.
I
don't
think
know.
that maybe what that might be, and this is just something I've been thinking about recently. I think it's a lack of sulfur in their diet because they need a lot of sulfur for feather production.
Right.
So some of the amino acids that they add to poultry foods actually has the sulfur in it.
Bug.
So I'm thinking that may be, because I know especially like barheads are particularly notable for pulling. I'm really
too.
I don't know if anybody's really looked at that, but
Yeah.
that's what I've been thinking. That's been my prime. I always have like these little things I'm thinking about all the time. Recently, my primary thought is about feathers and feathering and chicks and feather pulling and stuff with chicks and particularly like you said, barheads and Magellan geese and stuff like that, because they like they're grazing on them, and it's just got to be something that they're missing in their diet, and I would think it would probably be most likely sulfur, which if I'm in the beginning phases of looking at it, but one of the interesting things is they take it's called feather meal they use in the poultry industry, or they get it from, they grind up the feathers, and it's actually feather meal.
Feed it
And
back to 'em.
they feed it to cattle and stuff like that for some amino acids. And my thoughts are maybe that's something we need for stuff, for a supplement.
Yeah, I wonder how much this is in that bag. How much of that is really in there? Sulfur, Let me see here. There'll be any in there.
Okay, so see they got this methionine in there?
Yeah.
Methionine actually is the only amino acid that has substantial amount of sulfur in it.
Huh.
So that's what they put that in there for.
Yeah.
But my thought is, if that's if that .33 is really nothing, and I don't think that you can really overdose per se on your amino acid. These are like if they weren't necessary amino acids, they wouldn't have it added to the feed, so you had to have them every day. So what I'm saying is maybe on some birds we need to either jump that number up or supplement with something like, and I don't know where they get that amino acid from. Maybe it is from feather meal. I know that a lot of times it's weird because they'll use, and this is probably the same thing, they're using plant protein, plants for protein, but I'm sure if you read on this label, they're using chicken fat for the chickens for the fat in there, which makes no sense to me. Why not use the chicken for the protein as well?
Yeah.
Because if you have animal protein versus, I'm pro soy protein and stuff like that, because I think it's really helped the industry out, especially with some of the more exotic birds like your lories, for example, and some of the zoo birds. We've been able to manufacture feed with soy protein that has been, really brought aviculture leaps and bounds. But with waterfowl in particular, we tend to say that they need 17 to 18% protein. Pretty much through management and through molt, and I'm saying most waterfowl, I'm not including like your sea ducks and stuff. But and that's based on your soy proteins, your plant proteins. But if you use an animal protein, you can actually feed waterfowl down to an 8% protein. So really, we're
It's
like
so much better.
Yeah, because it's higher quality protein, and it has the amino acids that the plants don't have.
Right.
That's one of the problems is when you have this type of formulation, your plants don't have all the necessary amino acids in it because you can only find it in the animal.
They're just keeping the price down.